Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be harvesting sunflower seeds. As you can see, my big Kansas sunflowers are starting to kind of fall over, and this is what they look like. I'm just showing you the center part of the sunflower. They're already starting to turn a little bit yellow on the backs, which is an indicator that they're ready to be harvested. So once they start to turn downwards, that's also another sign, but then the leaves and the petals will start to turn colors and kind of dry up. And then once you see that bit of yellow on the back, they're ready to be harvested to dry out. Now you want to go ahead and cut them off of the sunflower stalk before the birds get them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. As you can see here, some birds have already gotten to this one. You can see that this one, you can see the actual sunflowers and they have a little bit of striping to them. So that's another indicator that these are really ready to go ahead and harvest. So especially this one here, it's already turned mostly brown. It's going to be really easy to go ahead and take the seeds out. So some of the other sunflowers I will have to lay out and let them dry for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on the sunflower. But like the one that I just showed you that was mostly brown, that one will be ready to kind of come off of the flower today, and I can go ahead and take the seeds. So you want to do this on a dry day, and so today is somewhat dry. I did have some sunflowers that fell over and they're in kind of this moisture, and it's been raining a little bit, so I'm not going to go ahead and harvest those. Those would be too wet and they would produce mold, so I'm going to leave those behind. It's really unfortunate, but they won't really work for what I'm doing. So I'm going to be making some roasted sunflower seeds this year, and I'm thinking I might do that to all of my sunflowers. Last year I did some sunflower seeds where I just put them into my bird feeders, and the birds liked them a little bit, but I ended up with a ton of sunflower seeds, and so I want to have some this year that I will be roasting and enjoying. So I'm gonna do that this year and probably give some away to friends and family as well. So I have quite a few flowers that I'm gonna go ahead and kind of just take off of the stem today, and I'm gonna go ahead and dry some. Like this one that has yellow on the back, as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and let it dry out, and maybe the one next to it might be ready to go ahead and take the seeds from today. I'm gonna take you through the whole process, so stay here with me. I also had this kind of unusual sunflower that had like 3 little sunflowers. I don't think I'll use that one. I'm gonna use the big sunflower heads that you can see here. This one you can already see the seeds poking through. I will show you a little bit more up close in a little bit, where we're kind of going to clean them up a little bit and show you what's on the sunflower head. These are really beautiful in my opinion. I love looking at them, and if you can see right there, it's kind of showing you a little bit right there where I'm kind of peeling off something that's on the sunflower head. That is the male and female part of the sunflower, and it's what produces the seed underneath. So each little, basically almost little flower, produces its own seed. So this is my garden. There's Lucy. There's Lucy again. My garden's pretty much at the end, and so the sunflowers will be the last thing that I harvest this year. So come along with me. I'm going to take some pruning shears like this, and you're going to want to go ahead and use something sharp like that to just chop the sunflowers off of the stem. And so I like to leave a little bit of stem on my sunflowers so I can hold them, and then I'm going to lay them on a table I have there underneath that little gazebo. I have a little bit of a dry area there because it's roofed, and so even if it rains, it'll stay dry. And the table has some holes. It's just a regular picnic table, so it's a good one for letting my sunflowers dry. But the other way you can have your sunflowers dry is you can hang them up in a dry place and just let them dry that way, or put them on a tray or something like that in a dry place and let them dry. But this works for me. If you want to let your sunflowers dry all the way out on the stalks, you can do that, but the birds may get to them. So one thing I would suggest is to put maybe like a brown paper bag over your sunflower heads, and or some sort of netting. That way the birds don't get to them, because they definitely love to get some sunflower seeds. So I'm just doing one by one here. And after I get done, I'll probably put these stalks down. We're going to start cleaning the garden and kind of taking everything down from the garden, like all of the cages for the tomatoes, my little stalks and things that had stakes that had the little names and things on them. And then we're going to kind of brush hog everything down to basically dirt, so we can just get our grass back this year. And I'll be showing you that in a video to come. So if you like this sort of content, please subscribe to my channel and come back. I will be posting quite a few things coming here soon that I think you might find interesting here on the homestead. So that one I just picked was my tallest one. This sunflower variety is called these Kansas sunflowers. I had never grown these before. We were gifted these seeds this year at a car show, and I was expecting some small little sunflowers, but they ended up being really, really tall and somewhat big. In the past, we've always planted mammoth sunflowers, and those produce really, really big heads that have tons of seeds. So I am used to harvesting sunflower seeds from these big, beautiful sunflowers. So I planted these sunflowers sometime in May or April, the end of April or the beginning of May, I think. And so now it's into the beginning of July and I'm harvesting. There you can see the little flower parts, the parts that I'm kind of peeling off like that. That's the part that is both male and female in the sunflower, and it produces one seed each. So what you want to do is kind of brush those off. I use my fingers and kind of press and move them along and just kind of peel them off in a way. But if you have a brush or some sort of tool that you think might be useful, go ahead and use that. But I'm just going to use my finger here and just go ahead and peel all of those pieces off of the sunflower. I want to just have my sunflower seeds there and just let them dry in the hot heat here. So I am in East Texas and it is really, really hot, so it might not take more than a week for my sunflowers to be ready for me to take off of the heads. Some of my sunflowers might be ready today, but you can tell when they're ready because you'll see the striping in the sunflower. You can see that this sunflower head already has striping in it, but I'm still going to let them dry a little bit. This one here might be ready today. I'm going to clean it up a little bit and just take some of the top parts off and some of the petals or anything around the edges off as well. And that's what it looks like. Trying to get one out here. I thought this one would be a little looser to show you, but it's still a little bit tight. But you can see here what the sunflower seed looks like. It's just your old sunflower seed right there. There's just a bunch of them. So I'm going to get a lot of them. I usually store them in mason jars, and so even if I roast them and things like that, I'll store them in mason jars. But you can also store them in like Ziploc bags, or you can even freeze them in your freezer. When you get done cleaning up your sunflowers and taking all of the seeds out, you might have some remaining sunflower pieces. Some sunflowers, especially the mammoth sunflowers, have really like a meaty, kind of almost foamy back to them. And if you happen to have chickens, chickens love to eat that. So go ahead and save those pieces for your chickens. So I'm just going one by one here, kind of cleaning them up. Have y'all ever harvested sunflowers? Comment down below or give me a like if you've harvested sunflower seeds. And if you have any suggestions for recipes, I'm going to be roasting them. Maybe you have some other seasoning recipes. I'm just going to add some sea salt and a little bit of oil to mine. But let me know down below if you have any other suggestions. Isn't this one beautiful? So one thing about my sunflowers is that they have, a lot of them had like these aphids or aphids, or little bugs and things that almost look like the little bugs you find on tomato plants. So just beware of that. If you are, squeamish about insects or something like that, wear some gloves. You will find a bug or two on your sunflowers. I found quite a bit on one or two of the heads. Isn't this one beautiful? You can see some of the striping there, but some of them are a little bit more white than others. If you happen to get one that is completely white, it might still need some more time, and you would just allow it to dry out longer. I think if maybe even you had a sponge brush or one of those cleaning brushes, it might be easy to take some of that top part off, but it's really not that hard to do. It just creates a huge mess. So I really like working here on the picnic table because everything's just falling right on the grass underneath, and that will just blow away later. You can save your sunflower seeds to plant them next year. So if you like, you can save like a little bag of sunflower seeds and go ahead and plant them next year. That's something I've also done in the past. So sunflowers is my favorite flower, so I absolutely love growing them every year if I get the opportunity to. So you saw that one was already coming off, so that one's going to be one we can harvest today. And I have a little bit of a bucket here that I'm going to put some sunflower seeds in today and take those inside. And then the rest of them I'll probably give another week or two to dry out. I'm just taking off some of the edges there. Some of that has moisture and you want to kind of clean it up if possible. That way they dry out faster. Isn't that beautiful? I love how that looks. It's almost like a basket or something, but it's all seeds. So look at that. I find this so beautiful. I took a picture as well and I love looking at it. It's just so nice. Here is another little sunflower seed that popped out. And there's Lucy, my dog. She's always in the background somewhere hanging out. So here's the bucket that I have. I'm going to go ahead and take some of the sunflower seeds straight out of the head and put them into my bucket. And you want to take your sunflower seeds back inside when you're done. I made the mistake before of leaving the bucket out, and just the dew and moisture of the day created them to get kind of mushy, and that can create mold. So you want to go ahead after you get them out of the head is just go ahead and take them inside and keep them in a cool, dry place. So there's all the sunflower seeds coming out. They come out quite easy when the head is very dry and they're ready to be harvested. It does take a little bit of thumb work, but it's not too bad, especially if they're really, really ready. The edges of the sunflower came out quite easily. The middle part was still a little bit sticky. And as you can see, underneath is kind of like this foamy. It's really interesting to look at the inside of a sunflower. It's like this foamy white and yellow material. But it's completely edible for chickens and they do love them. You can also give your chickens the sunflower seeds as well if you'd like. So I've only really grown and harvested now the mammoth sunflowers and these Kansas sunflowers. If you have planted and harvested other kinds of varieties of sunflowers, comment down below. There are some sunflowers that don't have striping on the seeds, so beware of that. There will be some that you might be waiting for the striping to come through to know whether or not they're ready, but they don't have striping, so beware of that. But this variety, they all have striping, as you can see. They look like your regular old sunflower seeds. That is how you harvest sunflower seeds. Thank you so much for coming along, and I will catch you on our next video.